Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to the Round 8 match preview. It's Friday night football. It is against the Fremantle Dockers at Marvel Stadium. 7:40 p.m, our first big primetime moment of the year. Please don't let us down, Sainers. Fremantle are coming into this with a little bit of momentum. They've won 4 of the last 5. They backed up losing to Melbourne a couple of weeks back with a pretty strong performance last week at home against Adelaide, and they are a very good home team. Fremantle, I still have question marks on them travelling, but on the flip side, we are coming into this with 3 straight losses, all of them really being disappointing. I can't really say any of them were honourable losses. They were all just really the same, beaten by a better team, and in large portions of those games, letting those teams dictate everything about those games and kicking a lot of goals against us, namely 100 plus points in all 3 games, which is not something Ross Lyon would be very happy about. So I'm expecting a difference in Kilda. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm in dreamland, but I'm expecting us to show a little bit more. We have had a bit of a stiff fixture in the last 6-7 weeks. We've played some very good teams, and the teams that we've played that have been sort of, at least when we've played them, been around us, like Port and Geelong, we've beaten them. Richmond, we took care of them comfortably. Fremantle, they are in better form than us, but they are one of those teams that pre-season we would have put in the same bucket as St Kilda, as that team between 6 and 12 that want to jump into the top 8 and maybe the top 4. And obviously Fremantle, everyone talks up. They got Shai Bolton in, Josh Tracy, and obviously Sarong, Brayshaw, Darcy in the ruck, as well as a returning Jackson, potentially, that'll be announced, and a very strong backline led by none other than Luke Ryan. Their lineup is formidable. On paper, they're very strong, and maybe they've slightly underperformed the last couple of weeks or last couple of seasons, but there's a lot of talk about them jumping into the top 8 and beyond this season. But for Friday night alone, this is a game we absolutely must win. We are 3-4. As much as they've been better than us this season, the fact that it's at Marvel and the fact that they've not travelled very well when they've had to leave Optus Stadium, I think gives me a little bit of confidence. That's probably the only confidence I'm getting, because they are a team that has a position filled in the midfield that is our Achilles heel. They've got Brayshaw, they've got Sarong, they've got Hayden Young, that's a gun that can go through there. And their forwards, obviously, they've got Tracy, I mentioned, but they've got Jai Amos as well. Their smalls are very dangerous. Shai Bolton roams between midfield forwards. So what do we do there when he jumps between the two? We're going to have to really lock down on him, because he is exactly the type of player that will destroy us. And he did it against Richmond at Norwood only a year ago, obviously in Richmond colours. So he's a player that if he's on and cooking, we're in trouble. But where can we get them? I think it's one of those games where I don't think there's going to be much in it. I think it's going to be just consistency, intensity, and efficiency. I think those are the 3 big things. And right now, they beat us in most of those respects. So stats-wise, their disposal and kicking efficiency is significantly better. Inside 50s is significantly better. We do get more of the ball. We don't use it as well, though, so we need to fix that. And that's a big topic of the last week, is we got our hands on it last week against the Lions, but we just didn't do anything with it. We didn't hurt them with it. So I'm expecting hopefully more bang for buck with disposal, more of a mix in the midfield with Sinks, Naz in there. And our pressure gauge is pretty reasonable. Like, we're averaging nearly 60 tackles. Free are only averaging about 50. So pressure-wise, we're okay in that area. But I think that's when we're up and about, is when we can play that frenetic pressure that just overwhelms the opposition. Whether that's sustainable for 4 quarters or not remains to be seen, because in our wins, even Geelong, we kind of dominated for half the game, and that was enough to win. Richmond was was probably the second half, because we outscored them by 70 points in the second half. We forget that. It wasn't a 4-quarter game. In Port Adelaide, it was a fast start and holding on. So in all of our wins, we haven't played 4 quarters. There's not a lot between the two teams. Even Wheelo predicting Fremantle by 3 points based on attack, defense, and overall. That's the verdict. Freo by 3 points. And I wouldn't think that's too against what a lot of neutrals would think. I think it's going to be under 2 goals, under 3 goals either way, to be honest. Luke Ryan's the one. I think he had a big game. He's had a big 3 or 4 seasons, to be honest. But we've handled the likes of Sam Taylor, Harris Andrews. We've handled these fullbacks pretty well. It's just kind of around them we haven't maximised. Like, they haven't gotten off the leash. Tom Stewart went down, I think, against us. Maybe Caminiti starts forward if we can, with Dougal Howard back and Caminiti playing forward against the Lions. Maybe he takes a Luke Ryan. Size for size could work. Release Sharman, Owens. Keeler, I think, keeps his spot mainly because we lose Mason Wood and we need some height. So I think that kind of stays there. And the odd chop out in the ruck is obviously important, and Rowan Marshall needs to have a big game. Obviously, Jackson to return, Darcy, that's a tough combination to go up against. And obviously, Rowan Marshall, we all know, well documented, hasn't been the Rowan Marshall that we've seen in the last 4 seasons. But if he can get anywhere near that, I think that goes a long way to us winning the game. And obviously, as has been the case, it's been Groundhog Day in the last 3 weeks. It's all in the midfield. It's all Jack Steele, Jack McRae, Nasai Wanganeen-Malira. Whether Hugo Garcia plays, Marcus Windhager needs to lift big time. Darcy Wilson on the wing, Brad Hill on the other wing. Everyone needs to go up that 5-10%. The back line, hard to judge because we're conceding 70 inside 50s the last 2 weeks. We cannot be doing that. And that, again, stems from the midfield. We cannot allow such easy transition out of rebound from our forward line to their forward line. And in the guts, if Sarong's just waltzing it out and Brayshaw's just waltzing it out, that's the same old shit we've seen for the last month. So we do not want to be seeing that. I want to see high intensity, Ross line, tough football. Bring the heat. Bring the pressure, and everything else will come off from that. That's how we win. You cannot win in a pressure-free zone. You're not going to get it easy that way. Fremantle are going to bring it. They've got big bodies in there. They're confident. They're coming off a good win. They're going to be up for this. Friday night, we don't want to be going 3-5 before Spud's game. I think if we can bridge the gap to 4-4, go into Spud's game with a little bit of confidence, I think that's a huge, huge tick, and we would all take 4-4 after 8 with the fixturing that we've had. 3-5, that's testing us a little bit, and I think that's when we start to really worry about where this season is going. You don't want to be losing 4 in a row in any season, regardless of how good or bad you are. 4 in a row, I can't say we've lost 4 in a row in too many seasons in the last 4 or 5 years. Despite us not being the greatest team, I don't think we've lost, maybe once, maybe under Ratton. I don't think we've ever lost 4 in a row under Ross, have we? That's a fun stat to check from his first tenure to now. But get to the game, Saners. I mean, it's been a tough week. Obviously, all the talk of Ross and his call to sub Garcia. I hope we give Garcia maybe one more week to redeem himself. Maybe he starts as a sub and Zach Jones just starts the game, considering Fremantle's strong midfield. And then, we're just needing some senior players to respond, because if they do, we're in this game. If they don't, we're relying on too few again. We're relying on Cal Wilkie to do it all, Naz to do it all, and Higgins to do it all. And you just can't be doing that. We need to be playing as a team. We need to be nailing the basics, not missing 15-meter kicks, 5-meter handballs. And like Woody talked about in his dissection video yesterday, go for the short options. The game will open up. Luke Ryan's going to be down the line, and he's going to be waiting for those long kicks. We need to be a little bit more unpredictable to the opposition. We're playing safe football, and safe football is basic and easy to defend. So let's give Freo something to worry about on Friday night. So on that note, Saners, that is my match preview. Thank you very much for watching. Please put in the comments, let me know how you're feeling about the game. The teams will be out. I keep forgetting it's not Thursday night now. The teams will be out tomorrow night. I keep thinking it's Thursday. I'm losing my mind. Friday, it's weird. I'm used to playing graveyard slots on Sunday at 4:40. So Friday nights, the next 2 weeks, that's a whirlwind for me to process. So that's the preview. Thank you very much. There's obviously more videos coming out during the week. Ari's predicted 23 videos already out. I don't know how accurate that's going to be by the time this drops, but we will see. And I'll see you after the game on Friday night, hopefully, to talk about a win. So until then, Saners, enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. And as always, go you mighty Saners. See you guys.